Welcome back to the broadcast. Dr. Ignatius Kibe is with us this morning, a gynecologist, and our focus is on infertility in men. Really important. I keep saying, pull your stool, sit down. This will be very helpful to you. And we have had a conversation on infertility in women. And Dr. said, you know, about 90% of these cases can be fixed. I'd love to know whether it is the same for men, and therefore you need not to suffer in silence. You need to come out, probably just listen to this program. It could be a game changer for you. So make sure that you ask all the questions that you'd want. 22047 is the SMS short code, hashtag Morning Cafe at Linda_Alela, TV47KE. Drop your comments, ask all the questions that you'd want to ask so that Dr. can answer them this morning. Remember, it's all about making our homes stable. It's all about regaining that glory of a man. Really important that we have this conversation. So as we get to loop in Dr. please be dropping those comments. You can as well call us live, and Dr. will get to engage you, will get to give you answers as to what really would be a burning issue. Dr. before I would ask the first things that need to be asked, because we always want to go step by step until we get to that level now of infertility and all that. Is it the same scenario, when we're talking about infertility in men? Like you said, for women, 90% of these cases can be reversed.
Well, not so for men, particularly if the problem is pathophysiological. Pathophysiological here meaning that some of the problems in men have more of a permanent and pensionable. Permanent.
Not a very nice thing. Not a very nice thing to hear on this one.
But,
yes.
Well, yes, if it is pathological, if it is caused by bacteria that we can kill, or is caused by viruses that we can control, we can reverse.
We can reverse.
Yeah.
Okay, and a majority of people suffer not knowing that, well, this is bacterial caused, and therefore they conclude that they're not able to sire.
The problem is that men generally are very poor in seeking health.
Medical attention.
They'll be wheeled into the casualty.
Yeah.
Ladies, on the contrary, on the other side, ladies will probably discuss with their girlfriends in the hairdo places, in salons, and ladies will seek to be assisted along the way. Men are very slow,
it's dire.
or they are pushed by their girlfriends and the wives. And like I said, it could be a permanent problem. It could be quasi-permanent. And I want to stress again in the outset that when there are no children in the home, or the children are not coming at the right time, probably they will get, but not when they want, 50% of the problem is with the man. And 50% of the problem is with the woman. So I don't like when they say, my wife cannot sire.
That's true.
You should instead say, we have missed a baby. We always put a we. And as a corollary to that, don't squeeze your wife or girlfriend to the wall. Don't let her suffer. Both of you, it takes two to a tango. Both of you should go to the doctor together. And okay, if the man is in probably not available, not locally there, and he's brought some medicine by the lady, you should always agree to take the medicine. So men, the game is on you, and please, I would suggest that you get in touch with your men friends and even girlfriends and tell them that the topic of today's topic is very important for the family.
Yes, once again, share as much as you can, so at least someone can get help, because we say that marriages are breaking down. Marriages are, people are losing their marriages because of this scenario where they can't sire and all that. So it's really important that we have this conversation. Now let's start from the basics. And we all understand, for people to be able to sire well, the organs should always be, in the best of shape. And so therefore, then one would want to understand how the male reproductive organs are made up.
Well, we shall spend very little time there, because most of the the organs can be seen externally. We call it external genitalia.
Yeah.
And that's why we have the viases, the two, let me call them balls. And they are hanging out. That is primarily the first noticeable organ. Then there is the shaft or the penis, and those are the externals, just like we have in women. Internals, we have the urethra that moves from the glans penis straight down upwards to the to the prostate gland and the adjoining tissue. Then as the urethra is the passage for urine and is also the passage for sperm cells and semen generally. Inside and towards the backside, what we cannot see are very, very important, probably more important than even the externals that we can see. There is the prostate gland, which has two major responsibilities. One is to dilute, to pour some fluid to dilute semen and therefore subsequently make sperms mobile in the fluid. The second one is the ejaculation itself. There is an duct, an ejaculatory duct that will trigger. It's like a pump. It's like an ejection pump, which will eject and push semen and sperm included into the lady. So those are the inside. There is also, of course, the seminal-vesicle. This is the store where sperms, once they are manufactured, they go past and through the vas deferens and is stored in the seminal vesicle. Now, if the seminal vesicle, especially for youth, young people in high school and in college, when it fills up, sometimes they have wet dreams. They dream they have a beautiful Linda and they go ahead and soil their bed sheets. But when they grow bigger and they can access partners, then it is disposable. Now the problem, and I want to give an early warning of masturbation. It's causing us havoc. It's really
common today.
It's very common. It's havoc. It's causing us hell.
What is wrong with that?
When finally the man is done with it, first of all, it causes a lot of infections. Secondly, there is a problem of the dendrites, the terminals of nerves.
Yes.
They get used to mkono. When they get used to the hand, and it comes to the real thing, they cannot. Sometimes they get what we call premature ejaculation. And it can be very, very brutish.
So as much as one can, let them avoid.
Please avoid masturbation. It's not good for your future. And you cannot properly sire.
You cannot properly sire?
Yeah, some men end up with reduced, what do you call it? Reduced activity. Some men, when they see, even from a distance, they see a girl, they ejaculate even on the road. Sometimes within 2 seconds he is done with.
That's a bit too
fast. And when they do it like that, they don't deposit the nguvu za kiume where they are supposed to be deposited. Yes.
Oh, there you go. I guess you've heard that, which is pretty much common. So still speaking of the organs, is there a scenario where one can be born with deformities?
Oh, sure.
And this then would come in handy to affect fertility?
Absolutely.
And at what stage do you detect this anyway? You want to give me money or what?
I have had my phone. And I don't want to interrupt the discussion.
The discussion, that's true. Yeah, we have to put
so
it on silence,
what has happened? What happens is sometimes due to the mother and family planning pills, you get something we call cryptochindism. In cryptochindism, the testes do not flow down. They don't descend into the scrotum. That is a permanent problem. That is definitely a permanent problem, and it can cause a man not to have not to be fertile, and can also cause cancer in the late stages of one's life. So it's very important that when the baby is born and it's playing around, is being washed, is playing around with the mother, let her check whether the testes have descended. Long time ago, our grandmothers would ask, bring that baby here, and would play with the baby and would jump and touch the testes to see whether they are there, and to also check whether the boy is erecting. That is one. Another one is when the urethra is at the below, you know, it's not straight, it's not there. The third one is, these are congenitals. Some of them are born like that. We have even seen men born without a single testis. And we have also a testicle, or rather. We have also seen men born with congenital malformation of the prostate gland. And I have also seen cases, several cases, not common in Kenya, I found it in Asia, of men born without a seminal vesicle. So they are manufacturing Gotv, but there is nowhere to store them. So I have seen...
where are they supposed to be stored?
Yeah, Gotv are in seminal vesicles, right beside the urinary bladder and next to the prostate gland.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you find somebody is born and it is missing.
How quick can one detect this? At what age? Like you rightfully say, mothers should be keen to always make sure that the boys are in best of shape.
Yes.
How quick are you able to detect a problem and say, you know what, let's proceed and seek medical advice?
The first one should be as early as possible. Within a year of birth, the baby should be checked repeatedly, physically, by the parents. And within the following 48 months, the baby should go for a very minor and harmless process of an ultrasound scan to identify and to locate the testes and to bring them down through a minor surgical intervention. Now, for people who may have a malformation in the prostate and in the seminal vesicle, it might take some time, because until the boy has developed what we call secondary sexual characteristics, and that is after about 13, 14 years, then you find that's when he realizes, I'm not ejaculating, and then we immediately start the problem. We have also seen a case or cases where the manufacturing process is itself problematic. That is the spermatogenesis. The man is not manufacturing sperms at all, and we call these people azoospermic. They don't have, the process is not taking place. Some men are born with reduced or no hormone called testosterone, which is responsible for the manhood and for production. And sometimes we get too much of another hormone called prolactin. There are several hormones and enzymatic processes that make the man he should be. So sometimes you find the problem may not even be physically identifiable, only when we take blood and we do what we call, just like women say we have imbalanced hormones, hormonal imbalance. Men have hormonal imbalance
as well.
We have also seen cases where at early age the boy got an infection, and the whole system, the pipes, call them vessels, call them like the vas deferens, call them like the ejaculatory ducts. Sometimes they get blocked, or we have what we call sphincter damage, or we have strictures inside, and the sperm just cannot flow. It's just like a roadblock somewhere. It's like ladies have fallopian tubes are blocked. Men can have blocked tubes.
Oh,
yes.
Speaking of the sperms, then one would want to know volumes, color, how, like, when you look at yours, do you have the confidence?
When I look at mine?
No, not yours as such,
Yes.
not yours as a man.
Yes, I do
yeah?
have.
Oh, yes?
Yes.
How then do you know that you are capable, that they are in the best of, volume, shape, color?
Linda, this is a
strength
good question,
to-
because it is the first test that should be done when a couple does not get children. It's not. We don't start with the lady. We start with the man.
Okay.
Unfortunately, men are so stubborn.
They don't
But
like it.
They don't like it. But then, if a good man, a mature person, somebody who loves a family and loves his wife, should be tested even before the wife. Now, this is where we look at various, as we call it, sperm analysis or semen analysis. Semen is when we look at the whole thing, the whole volume of probably between half a teaspoon, which is 2.5 ml, to up to maximum I've seen is 8 cc. Bigger than a teaspoon. Ile ya kukoroga.
Okay.
That is the first thing that we look at. The second thing is viscosity. Are they viscous enough? Just like we would check whether oil is viscous or not. Some of them are too
light.
viscous, some are too light. We check that one. There is a topic called the viscotropy, which can determine the viscosity. Because the thicker they are, the more difficult they are to travel.
Penetrate. Okay.
Yeah, when grease and oils and paraffins, when they are too thick, then they cannot go as fast
They
as
cannot
when
flow,
they are. They cannot flow as easy as those that are much.
So the lighter they are, the better? Not
middle.
All right, okay.
We also check the pH. We want to see whether they are too acidic or too basic, because even as they do their thing, for example, for a boy, we want basic. We want it to be as basic. For a man to sire a boy, we want the sperms and the whole, environment to be as basic as possible. The third item that we check is the mobility. We want to see whether they are very fast, like Kipchoge, very fast. There is the middle one, which is mildly fast. And then there is the slow, very slow. And finally, there are some that we call immobile.
Okay. They don't move at all.
Ukimwaga mahali umemwaga zinakaa hapo.
Okay.
Some are even dead. So we also do a fractionating process to find out how many dead sperms a man produces. Then we also look at those are four parameters of the mobility, the speed. And we also check whether they have sufficient of energy, because they are going to travel a very long distance.
Okay.
They are going to travel from the external genitalia, the V, and some V's are as long as 8 inches. And we don't know whether the man will deposit down there or in the middle or outside. Some men get nervous and they pour or they ejaculate out here. And that is a good 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches for a good V. Then there is the cervix. Cervix is not a point like people want to be told. Instead, it is a 6-inch distance, 6-inch long tube. Then there is the uterus, which could be as big as 1.5 feet.
Okay.
And then
So
there
it
is the
travels through
fallopian
all
tube,
this.
and the sperm cell, microscopic as it is, has to travel that long, we call it the difficult journey of the sperm cell. It's a very, very tough and arduous and very competitive process. So we check whether the sperm has sufficient of energy. They swallow, they pick what we call fructose, and in the middle piece, it is the point. Sperm has three parts: the head, the middle piece, and the tail. So there is the middle piece that is picking. It has mitochondria that pick and generate energy for the quick swim
movement and all that.
up
Can this be enhanced in any way, you know, by what you eat?
Absolutely, Lida.
Groundnuts.
Absolutely. We have diets like if we want somebody to have first class. I left out the shape and the size. When the shape, for example, some men have sperms. They have sufficient. Kumbe, they are double-headed. You find the head is not proper, is not V-shaped.
Okay.
We want a head that is
that
is like a V for resistance. We say the journey is tough. Then some have no tails or very short tails. The shorter the tail, the less ability to swim.
Okay.
Some have rather too long tails. When again the tail is too long, as they swim, they will
coil around
the others, and they will fall down and they'll agglutinate, we call it. So that is, we have to have the optimum size of the tail. We also look at possibility of disease. Some men keep quiet. Kumbe they had gonorrhea at one stage and they have refused to be treated. So you find because of that infection, the sperms are deceased, or the sperms have what we call leukocytes.
Okay.
We check whether the man has had an infection or is still carrying an active infection. So we check those things. We also check the concentration per ml. We want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do that. We have a machine that called a counter that will tell us how many per cc, how many per ml, how many sperms. And if he is below, for example, 20 million per cc, you know, when a man releases and ejaculates, he can ejaculate half the population of Kenya at a go. Okay. And he's still not ejaculating sufficiently because we want more than 20 million.
Why?
Some people can make hardly 15. So to answer your question, yes, there are drugs. We want this, we add certain vitamins like niacinamide, one of the B complexes. We add something like zinc. We add something like ascorbic acid. We add a very important enzyme. It's called coenzyme Q10. Yeah. So there are drugs that can enhance a man's fertility. And along with that, when we do spermatogenesis, the manufacture itself, what are the raw materials of making sperms? What are just the raw materials? So fruits like avocado, I keep shouting. Okay. Avocado. Even if you can take 3 per day, avocado is very good. Okay. Green vegetables, the best 2 of green vegetables are broccoli and spinach. I'm happy with your quick learning.
Yes.
Broccoli and spinach. You know, the egg of, that egg of a fertilized egg is also very good. Okay. One in the morning, one in the... This nonsense of saying don't eat an egg at all, it has cholesterol.
Don't eat a lot of them. You can eat
the
one.
Language is don't
they
eat.
They say it should be at one.
One in the morning, one in the evening.
No, they say one week.
No. I don't believe in that.
Okay.
You see, when you eat an egg, you see, when a chicken is lying on eggs, it does not add anything. There is no injection of any material. Yet, after 21 days, the chicken hatches a chick, which has hard material like the beak, like the legs, like
the
feathers.
Yeah.
So it means when you are eating the egg, you are
All
eating
this
a
could
whole...
grow inside you. Daktari, let's take a quick break. That's a good note to take a break from. Please keep dropping the questions. Daktari is here to answer a very pertinent topic. And we'll come back with more after this short break.
Industry in Kenya is growing in leaps and bounds. From bungalows, mansionettes, high-end apartments, all the way to mixed-use developments such as malls and mall residency. Well, how do you all break it down? Right here on TV47, we bring you The Realtor with me, Karanja Daniel, where we analyze the property industry right here in Kenya and bring you the latest from all the professionals that are involved, from architects, engineers, surveyors, as well as the construction experts themselves.
The property industry has shifted from where it was some years back.
It is very endearing to family people.
Yes.
Because you want your kids to grow up in a nice environment.
Real estate is an asset, a secured asset, guaranteed asset.
Do not miss out every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m.
What does it take to be an alpha male? Is it by expressing your emotions?
So men, we're human beings, and we also have emotions, and we're also weak at some point.
Mimi nilienda nikaingia ndani ya maji ya bahari ili watu wasijue nalia.
Water.
Kidogo kitoka hivi mtu anasema ni maji, kumbe ni machozi.
Is it how you treat your significant other?
You're beaten once. The man is a fool. When it happens twice and you're still there, you are the foolish one.
He gives you a house, you turn it into a home. He brings home beef, you make biryani for dinner.
By how many women you have in your corner?
I went, I banged all these other babes, and I looked at it, I was like, no, what, nah. I want Keisha, I want Sheila, I want Brenda, I want Mary. So I decided to drop her.
Well, at the men's conference, we demystify this and so much more. Join us every Wednesday at 10 p.m.
Hi kids, welcome to Kids on the Block.
Here at Kids on the Block, we learn and have fun. We teach you easy cooking skills, art time, playtime, and many more. Join us and don't miss the fun every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Morning Cafe. Well, tune in to TV47 every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and enjoy diverse and the best of content on Morning Cafe with me, Linda Alela. Back to the broadcast. Daktari is making me happy this morning, and we also want to make you happy by just giving you that hope, giving you a reason to smile. If you're that man, probably you've tried getting a baby for your wife for a long time in vain. We say there's hope. Just listen to Daktari. Some of these things that we probably overlook, we ignore. We tend to shy away from going to hospital, and we have answers. So you need not to go through that shame and through that pain. You need not to lose your marriage just because you could not, seek medical advice. Hapa tunasema we're giving them free. Do you know how to speak Swahili?
A lot of it, I'll beat you in Kiswahili.
Is it so?
I didn't do it in high school or even in primary school. It was banned.
Okay.
But I picked words from hither, thither.
Tuendelee na Kiswahili kufikia
anytime ukitaka Kiswahili nitabonga.
Umeharibu. Bonga sio Kiswahili, bonga ni sheng. But anyway, I think it is actually Kiswahili. Ni vile sheng sometimes it borrows a lot.
It's a growing language.
I agree. So tunasema they're here. Tunawapatia free advice. Ukienda kwa daktari hospitali utalipia consultation fee.
Utalipia maelfu.
Maelfu na maelfu. So please take advantage of this and ask as many questions as you can. Morning Cafe at Linda_Lela TV47KA. We sample some of these comments as we continue. If you so wish, kindly call us live so that you can ask your question to Daktari directly. He'll be giving us his number. That is later before we close the broadcast. And we're talking about sperms and how to make sure that you generate the right ones. You have the right ones for that matter. Are there scenarios that you can be lazy and play dangerous games that would get your levels or your sperm levels going down? You said men should avoid as much as they can the act of masturbation. What else?
The other one that is common and legal is alcohol. Alcohol is a destroyer of sperms. Some people argue that a glass of wine every evening is good.
It's good for your stomach.
But it's good for both your stomach but don't get tempted, because even Shakespeare, those of you who did literature, I didn't. Shakespeare said it will excite you. Alcohol will excite you. Alcohol will make you want, but it takes away the action.
That's true.
So we have seen a reduction of the populations in the mountain, what they are calling these days the mountain. One of the biggest problems is alcohol. When you take too much, then sperms go down. Yeah. The other problem is diseases. It's apparent that there are certain diseases like the sexually transmitted infections, STIs and PIDs. When they go in there and, for example, go to the epididymis, which is the top part of the testis, that capuchon, it's a very long tube, more than 20 feet, but it's coiled and coiled and coiled and coiled. And once the sperm go there, they mature out there. And what happens is quite often you get bacteria, gonorrhea, chlamydia, Trichomonas vaginalis, those diseases like even syphilis, diseases like herpes. When they go to the epididymis and somebody ends up with epididymitis, then this eats up the sperms. Produce the sperms, but they don't make it. They don't even mature up. The other problem is, I've talked about sexually transmitted infections and STIs and PIDs.
Let me ask this question.
Yes.
Maybe as you probably are going to tell me whether it's a problem or not. I remember when my little boy was pretty much young.
Yes.
Every time we constantly were told, don't diaper him every other time. Don't keep him warm every other time. Is this just a myth, or there's some truth in the fact that they're not supposed to be warm always?
Not for those very young ones, because it's good to protect them. But then, because of you younger mothers, you leave because of these jobs and all, you leave your children, your babies, with maids and house helps and house managers. What happens is that sometimes the boy will urinate, the boy will defecate, and in the process, will not have the diapers and nappies changed as quickly as they should be. And the boy picks diseases. You find the small girls getting Escherichia coli, and they block fallopian tubes at very early ages. So it is true that sperms will not form until somebody is until the organ, the testis, are below the normal body temperature at probably 32, 33 against the normal body temperature. It must be 3 to 4 degrees lower.
Right.
So overdoing heat. And some people make mistakes. Some people think going to saunas and hot tubs and what, that they are rich and they are showing off. No, it will reduce kabisa. The spermatogenesis that we talked about cannot proceed and when the temperature is below or rather, when the temperature is at body temperature,
Yeah.
it must be below, far below, by 3 to 4 degrees, and that's quite a big change. The other thing that I want to talk about in sperms, in the problem of the reduction of sperms, is conditions called prostatitis. Prostatitis is just like what we talked about, epididymitis. So this can also cause a lot of problems, infections there. We also have things like the varicocele and hydrocele. In varicocele, you find this area around the organs and below, heavily supplied with blood. Why? Okay. There is the place for defecation, there is a place for sex, there is the same area that is responsible for sitting down, waking up. There is a lot of activity going around here. And what happens is that it's the one that's responsible even for urination and, bladder emptying and I don't know what. It's a very busy place. So you find blood going down there. God made it such that you pour in a lot of blood into that area to do all those functions. Now, the blood may not get out of that place as easily as it went in. So we end up with the veins around that area being engorged with blood. And we call it varicocele. It is usually in the testes, and it can cause havoc. The hydrocele is a complicated one because sometimes we even don't know. It looks like it came from the processes, the usual processes. You find some people have hydroceles. They are like it's like a fluid. Hydro is water. Is like a blister inside the testicles. Now there is also another condition called orchitis. Sometimes there is torsion, where now sometimes, because these are cords, I'm saying they are cords and they are longish. Sometimes when the boys are in the field playing, they jump up, they do somersaulting, and they twist those pipes, and they can cause
fractures.
What we call the pipes, like we said, can be blocked. The vessels can be blocked, just like blocked fallopian tubes. Then there is the problem of lifestyle. Lifestyle. Some men want to just sit there; they don't want to work. One of the biggest.
How is now work very important on this?
Is very, very important, because by activating the area where there is spermatogenesis, by activating the muscles, you even become more active, and generally, the problem, lifestyle. When people make a little money, they want to show off. They are riding their car, and they want to show like this is, and they even will join a gym or a club, but they want this car because the idea is to show off. You see, he wants to even put the big car into the gym itself. They can't walk, they can't ride a bicycle, they can't walk briskly. The other thing is sleep. I have found that most sperms, we did a survey, a research with the University of Nairobi, and we found that too little sleep reduces sperms. We found that people must sleep on an average 6 to 8 hours a day. Every 24 hours, there is more activity of manufacturing sperms when somebody is completely good quality sleep, completely asleep. When men sleep and sleep tight, sleep nicely, then they manufacture more sperms. So there are various activities, like even the Kegel exercise that we talk about in women. Men should also do Kegel exercises. Men should go, when you see Wahindis and Wazungus walking around in the evenings with a dog, and he's pulling and tethering the dog and again removing and then walking around for 2 to 3 kilometers. It's very healthy. So it's very important that our men get out of their settees and
You have reminded me that there are machines that are here today with us.
Yes.
That allow you to probably just go and sit on them, and there's a way that they vibrate your body, they trigger your body. It's like they're doing the Kegel exercise on behalf of you. One, they come in handy to address a lot of health conditions that would come along with probably for women not having a proper board, like a board that is stable, a pelvic bone or pelvic floor that is stable enough. Is that good for the men? Is that advisable for the men? They say
it is advisable.
Oh,
there are such equipment in gyms and in playgrounds these days. Even at home, you can develop something in your own house. It doesn't have to be the expensive hundreds of thousands of shillings. It can be developed by an ordinary mechanic or somebody fabricator in the house.
Yeah.
They are very important because it's important to vibrate those places. And if you're sitting all the time in the office, probably long distance driver, and people who do jobs that is always on the computer, on a laptop or something. It's very important to get, because this one will accelerate the speed. What I tell people is, and what I've done, because I must also talk out of my own experience.
Yes.
You must have an activity every day for 20 minutes that makes you sweat.
Oh yeah.
Do something
very important
for 20 minutes so vigorously that you sweat. You are healthy.
Oh yeah.
And if it can be done by a machine, a bicycle or a static machine, well and good. So it's very important to move your body. Why? Because even the blood vessels, even the arteries and veins that we talk about arteries and veins. And I even mentioned just now about varicocele and hydrocele and orchitis. It's all to do with the arteries and veins, even those of legs. The whole body should be seen as a unit, It's only that it has different organs. And the blood vessels, this blood is an enclosed system. So it will go around, and if there is a disease, it will keep bringing it back, up and back. So it's very important to have those machines that Linda is talking about.
That. Okay, well, Dr. ED is one thing that we talk about.
Yeah.
And I think constantly men want to hear this because they suffer in silence. That's the truth of the matter. And they don't know how to ask for help. They don't know whom to go to. But it is extremely bad. And, the suffering is not just for men. It cuts across. The women will tell you they suffer even more.
Yes, today morning I had a client, is a lady.
Yeah.
Whose husband is 46 years old, and he just cannot rise up to the occasion. And I want to say something. After age 35 years, testosterone that we mentioned earlier, that is responsible for manhood, starts going down.
Okay, automatically.
Automatically.
Whether you eat well, whether you exercise, whatever it is that you do.
After 35 years, testosterone starts going down. Okay. And the little testosterone that you have sometimes converts to a DHT, which is dihydrotestosterone. And this drop down of testosterone is the same as the drop down of estrogens that circulate in women, and it causes what we call menopause in women. In men, yes, there is menopause. We call it andropause. That is when the man had very powerful biceps, the man had very powerful thighs and very, very strong. But slowly, because of this reduction in testosterone, he starts to his strength, even the physical strength goes down. Okay. You find his erection goes down. And that is the first statement I want to make, that you must take courage and accept you are aging.
That's true.
Because some people want to be 60 and still ejaculate 4 times per night.
Ooh.
It's not possible, You've grown older and the muscles have grown, your testosterone has gone down. Your muscles have gone down. So don't force yourself to leave the age that is not It's like Linda here wanting to be 18.
Impossible.
And I've seen some people, even women, wanting to be even virgos.
But you know, we are 18 till we die. No, we'll stick to 18 forever. There's no way we are. Yes, you want to do it.
Girls are always 18.
You'll do anything to be there.
You must be 18 even at...
until you die.
Even at 70, you are
Even
still 18.
You're 18.
Agreed. Now, it's okay for a girl in a bedroom because she's a recipient. But this donor, the person, must take courage and accept I'm older now. And instead of rushing to the blue pill, you must accept that my testosterone has gone down. My even essentially, other things also go down. Like you find many of them get to diabetes and the blood pressure and I don't know what. So the same thing happens to the sex and sexuality and the organs thereof. And therefore, it's good to accept. Don't force with a blue pill to go for 4 doses of sex per night.
That is to tell men that maybe it is advisable for them to probably sire, make arrangements and get babies as early as possible.
As early as possible, absolutely. Indeed, that is what we always, in our profession, in the medical profession, we know that the best age for a woman to get babies is between 20 and 28. And climaxing at 24.
Okay.
Thereafter, there will be problems. The best age. Don't force yourself don't call it erectile dysfunction unless it is pathological, unless it's a disease, unless it is a problem that can be caused. Sometimes this erectile dysfunction is caused by what we call midlife crisis. You see, a man at 40 to 55, those 15 years are very critical for a man. He wants his children to go to the best school. They want to build a big house, show-off house, and the ordinary house. They want to build business premises. They want to change their cars. By that time, girls have also noticed him. So he's a chain of girlfriends.
Will always be after them.
Parents.
I equally saying you want this.
Same. The church wants contribution. Even these days when there is a lot of WhatsApp fundraising for disease and all, they want to check how much you are contributing. So these are what we contribute, we call a midlife crisis. And it definitely takes its toll on men. Their sexuality goes down. I'm saying that if you have erectile dysfunction, first do a proper diagnosis. Check whether it is due to diabetes.
Okay.
Check whether it is due to heart conditions. I exclaimed when I said the word heart. Because we have connected in medical science, recent medical science, heart conditions, even strokes and a failing heart. We have connected that with erectile dysfunction. In fact, some of us believe, after hearing the story of a man who cannot perform as well as he expects, we immediately do an ECG, an electrocardiogram. Why? We connect the heart and the erection. So let us not self-treat. Let us not go over the counter and whisper to the pharmacist, No, first of all, go for a proper diagnosis. What is causing this problem? Do you probably have you had probably epididymitis that we talked about? Do you probably have a bigger, an enlarged prostate, which we call BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia? Do you have a proper functioning seminal vesicle? How are the glans penis? Have you had hydrocele? Have you had otitis that we talked about? Have you had varicocele? Get all these checked before you run into the blue pill. It can kill you, because sometimes the blue pill essentially was in fact discovered as a medicine for the heart, not a medicine for the original owner, Pfizer, developed that drug for purposes of the cardiovascular system. But they found this raising of
can trigger,
trigger and sustaining of sexuality and a hard erection was a side effect of a drug for the heart.
Okay.
So it's very important to you also, you clinicians, clinic officers, nurses, pharmacists, doctors, always associate erectile dysfunction with the heart.
The heart.
Just rule out that they don't have a heart problem. Then check also the pathophysiology, the diseased part of the reproductive organs. Check for BPH, for example.
Okay.
Check for hydrocells. Check for varicocele. Check for epididymitis, current and old time. So it's very important. Talk to them about diet. Diet sometimes is very important.
Yes.
If you don't have raw material, I'm repeating myself, but it's very important. When we talk about avocado and spinach and broccoli and fish and seafood, we are actually talking about zinc. We are truly counting how many. What is the milligrammage? How many? What is the weight per million of zinc? What in that particular plant? I want to mention some Mediterranean nuts like almonds, like our local macadamia. I want to mention njugu karanga, this groundnut, peanuts. I want to mention those nuts and seeds like pumpkin seeds, seeds like chia seeds.
They're all active still. If I mean, even if you cook them, they still retain some of the nutrients that one would need.
Yes, and a very good alternative to taking
supplements.
Supplements and taking polysaturated fats.
Okay.
That macadamia, you know, they grow macadamia here.
That's true. They do. You know, you didn't carry some for us.
We shall. I have a governor, Mwangi Wairia, who is crazy about macadamia, is crazy about avocados, and he's shouting and his voice hoarse. The other day, he traveled all the way to Colombia, and I'm telling you, and he went to the United States to look, what is this theory, what is this story about avocado? It's not just the avocado per se, it is the ingredient, it is what we look at is the food value of that fruit.
Well said.
So be well educated. We don't tell you to do these things for the fun of it.
Yeah.
We tell you because they have been analyzed. These days there is a diet.
Yes.
We are just about to finish.
Yes.
I know I can see the jittery
yes.
Linda here. These days, because of COVID, a new diet is coming up, and I support it with my experience and my amount of small education. This is the diet of herbs.
Yeah.
Herbs. We are talking about turmeric. We are talking about garlic. We are talking about ginger. We are talking about cinnamon. We are talking about those things are good. Green tea is number one. Green tea. Whenever you take green tea, it's good. It detoxifies the system and it improves. If a man takes this keto diet and these foods that are being eaten for COVID-19, add that it is also helping in the
all right, just like the heart medicine.
Yes,
this then turned out to be a blessing in disguise.
It is
Thank you so much, Dr. Ignatius Kibe. Your number as we close.
As we close now, I like to mention that please don't make telephone calls. Instead, write messages to me, and I answer every message on 0722 53 4444 0722 53 4444. That is my number. Please, it's very difficult for a doctor to listen and at the same time dispense drugs or even give oxygen. It's not possible. So when the phone is not picked, don't get annoyed.
Please don't. And like we have rightfully said, text.
Please.